Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back. It's been a long time since we've done the Love Your Vibe podcast, but today is a great day to kind of revive it and just kind of get into some of the issues that are happening today in our world, more so in our country. It's I'm sure most of you have heard about the situation unfolding in Vegas. And, I don't have all the details, nor do I really feel like I need to have the details in order to understand what is at the heart of this issue, of multiple issues, of the protesting the national anthem issue and being for it, being against it. All of that stuff is just a result of choosing anything but love. I'm not calling it hate. I'm not calling it anything else. And at times it is hate, but I'm just saying it is the action or reaction of choosing to allow something else other than love. Because when we choose love, here's what happens. We take a moment to really think about how we're acting and how our actions are affecting everybody else. When we really choose love, we take a moment to make sure that we're hearing everything and we're understanding what could possibly make somebody feel a certain way about a certain subject or topic. When we choose love, we're choosing to accept everyone and their differences. If you're battling with somebody because you feel like you're right and they're wrong, you're not choosing love. If you feel like you're better than somebody because you believe one thing when they believe something else, you're not choosing love. Okay, so it's just that simple, yet it seems like it's more and more complex for people to adhere to the ability to choose love. And so for me, I feel like in seeing that, it's my divine obligation to rise higher and to help people to learn how to choose love. And the most important way that you can do that is just get outside of yourself. When we get into arguments, especially with our loved ones, we get so caught up on our own selves thinking that we know this and we know that and we're right and blah, blah, blah. When right at the time when we tell ourselves, what's most important? The most important thing is that I love this person loves me, and we can live happily together. That's what's important, not if I'm right and I'm winning the argument. That makes no sense, right? So why not have that carry over into the world? I can't tell you how many times people look to me to answer a question a certain way because they see the color of my skin. And they're waiting for me to say something that basically corresponds with what they're believing, but I choose not to. I'm not going to choose a color. I'm not going to choose black. I'm not going to choose white. I'm going to choose love because love trumps, no pun intended, trumps everything in the sense of making sure that everybody wins, but not only that everybody wins, but everybody is on the same page. So I look at this whole situation in Vegas, and you got to understand what is going on inside somebody's head, but more importantly, what's going on in somebody's heart for them to stand on top of a building and basically just off 50 people, if not more. Like, think about that for a moment. Think about how much hatred this individual has stirred up. And see, what happens is when you get to that point of hating, you're not willing to listen to anything outside yourself or what's going on inside your head. So for us, we need to not only be concerned about ourselves and getting to that point, but we need to be concerned about everybody else around us. So you know what I do? I just left the bookstore in Barnes and Nobles, and I talk to everybody. I ask how their day is going. I ask, like, is anything exciting happening in their lives. Give people the opportunity to show that you care, because I care about humanity. I care about humanity experiencing the love, the joy, the happiness, the compassion that is supposed to be present with us human beings. I love the opportunity in being able to relate that to another person. And, that is how we overcome divisiveness. That is how we overcome turning our backs on people because they see the world in a different way. Give you a perfect example. This national anthem, it's amazing how God will give us certain things to show us who we truly are as people. The national anthem protest started with quarterback Colin Kaepernick last year. And immediately, instead of people saying, okay, let's see what Colin is kneeling about. Let's get a greater understanding of where he's coming from. Let's get inside his head, but more importantly, let's get inside of his heart. Instead of us lovely American people doing that, we start calling him the N-word. We're saying that he's disrespecting the flag. He needs to know his place. He needs to be this. He needs to be that. He should be ripped, blah, blah, blah. And not once was there ever a situation that says, you know what, we need to sit Colin Kaepernick down and see why he's doing what he's doing, right? Bring him to Congress. Let him explain why he's doing what he's doing, But then, on the other hand, the people who are for the anthem, instead of them saying, you know what, I get that you don't understand it. All I can do right now is pray for you that eventually you will understand what it means or what he stands for. No, we don't do that. We just go and return the hate. We throw it back at, and all of a sudden it's a war against people that are supposed to be the exact same. Back and forth, geared towards who's going to be right, not make sure that everybody's loved and everybody's understood, because that's how good families work. We just kind of take it upon ourselves to be selfish. And I'm not saying this is everybody, but I'm saying that this is the problem in the world today. This is why people set bombs. This is why people bring machine guns to locations where there's mass amounts of individuals and they start going off. This is why you see so much hatred going on across the news, because there is a lack of love, nothing else. If you're moving from love, I guarantee you this stuff would not happen. It's only hate. It's only selfishness. It's only the idea that you're right and nobody else is, that your opinion is the only one that matters and nobody else's opinion matters. That's the only time you start to have issues. But what would happen if we opened up and said, you know what? Let's listen a little bit longer. Let's listen a little bit more to see what he has to say. Let's try to put ourselves in his shoes as opposed to accusing him. Let's say, okay, what would cause him to exude this type of behavior, and how can we make him feel comfortable enough to tell us the story? So in closing, all I want to tell you is that it's not about jumping to conclusions. It's not about being a racist. It's not about black or white. It's not about you being right and somebody else being wrong. Relinquish your own ego, get into your heart, connect with your soul, and try to understand why a certain person is doing something before it leads to a situation to where it turns into hate. And it's just that simple. It's just that simple. Once people learn how to get over themselves and how to embrace that oneness and connectivity that we all have at some level, the hatred and the acts of hatred will continue. I urge you today, as I leave, live your life in love. Choose love in every situation, even with the person that's cutting you off in traffic. Choose love. I just had a woman who flicked me off. Wasn't even my fault. I sent her love. You know what? It makes me feel better about it. Makes me feel better about everything, and it will do the same for you. Guys, thanks so much for joining me today. Gotta run. Have a wonderful day. And remember, choose love. That's what's most important. Take care.